Hello, hello, hello there, all of you dudes. Uh, what is up? Let me get a swig of water in. I probably should have done this before I actually started. Hear that? Kind of running low on water in this bottle. Oh well, I have three others. And we'll probably not even get it past, another one. Because these are some big bottles, dude. Alright, so what's up? What do you want me to do? A little MC intro, like, hey, what's going on, everyone in the house? This is your boy. Yeah, you know what's up. Oh, I'm sorry. I know. I just want to say, hey, I know we're a little late. No doubt. Well, at least here in Pacific Coast time. Also, do you guys have any tips for keeping long hair out of your face? Cause my hair is getting considerably longer, and Jiba is it getting annoying. Well, we should probably start fiddling around, and let's actually get to the meat and bones of what I was going for today. So, as you can tell, probably from the title, Army of the Dead. That's that new brand spanking new movie that released on Netflix. Yeah, well, as cast. Yeah, no, Dud has a cast. What am I saying? Oh god, this is horrible. I didn't plan for this to go this poorly. But Army of the Dead has some probably recognizable, at least one recognizable face. Dave Batista, formerly of WWE. Well, as you know, he does movies now. Okay, that was the only name that I recognized. I have no idea who anyone else was. And honestly, I can't commit it to memory because I don't want to bother committing it to memory. Army of the Dead was made by Zack Snyder. I know everyone's hopping up and down on his Pen 15. Sure, you can figure that analogy out for yourself. Come on, use a little brain power. uh, Over the whole DC, Snyder cut thing, but I did not enjoy Army of the Dead, not one bit. From beginning to end, I loathed it entirely. Midway, probably not even midway, but a little less than midway through the movie, I hope that everyone died because I wanted the movie to end. Uh, I think it kind of falls prey to the whole what I would consider the golden rule, breaking the golden rule of zombie flicks, is if you have zombies or something of that nature, whatever people try to relabel it as, like 28 Days Later does, or Days Gone, where they say they're freakers, but they're basically just amped up zombies. They fit in the same category, okay? So, but if it breaks the rule, my golden rule, zombie flicks, or well anything, if the zombie ends up taking the back seat and just being a prop, a setting place rather than a major focus of everything, then I think it kind of screwed up because Army of the Dead kind of, I think it kind of breaks the rule. I think it's like on the very edge of it because for most of the movie it's very slow and it gets into all this human things. Like you can have a good zombie flick and also talk about humans themselves, but like the way this is going to be an entire spoiler thing. So if you guys uh, want to get out before you end up hearing something that you are planning on watching that's a zombie flick, then get out of here right now. I highly recommend it because we're going into spoiler territory. Um, I should probably put that in the title, shouldn't I? Well, trust me, you're not missing much by skipping out on this movie. Well, either way, as I was saying, zombies and analyzing humans at the same time, it's something that can work on both. Train to Busan, that wonderful, beautiful Korean flick, zombie flick, about well, a train and trying to get to Busan. All right, it's in the title, dude. Okay, so either way, throughout the whole film, there's this one dude that's very cold, harsh, and always puts himself above everyone else in terms of safety and everything. And at the end of the movie, ends up getting bitten, and as he's approached by the few remaining characters left, and at the end he says, "Please help! I have to get to my mother. She's waiting for me." And it's you know, kind of turns in your head something where he does all this bad stuff and everything. He's the bad guy, but yet you can't necessarily, you feel sort of bad for them because this dude at the end of the day is just trying to get back home to his mother, which he albeit through a bad and uh subterfuge and all that sort of shindig, which is not the right call. But nonetheless, it's what drove him, that human connection of his mother. And well, Army of the Dead, and yeah, that's just showing off that zombie flicks can do both. But Army of the Dead just kind of breaks that, and I think it's because zombies take I don't know, it's more of a convenient set piece that you turn on, that Zack Snyder ends up turning on when it's convenient for the plot. Like, I mean, they're set up for it, but I think it left a lot to be desired. When you see a zombie flick, you expect to have some tension, to have some fights. Zombieland does this blend perfectly of, mincing comedy with the zombies, action, enough action. But for whatever reason, Army of the Dead just isn't able to capture any of that. You may or may not know your boy, Movie Man Bob. That guy's become a meme in recent years. Oh, he gave him a 7 out of 10, with the rating saying, "For the most part, it works in relative proportion to when the material best aligns with Snyder's strengths. Big shootouts and brawls, messy, violent zombie dismemberment, hyper-literal mythic and pop culture allusions. Good. Good. Human drama, not so much." Yeah, he's like half right, and he gave it a 7 out of 10, so not entirely. Well, he's right about the human part. I cared not for any of the characters. Uh, like I said before, I was hoping like halfway through the film that everyone just dropped dead so I could stop watching it. But unfortunately, it didn't happen because the runtime was 2 hours and 26 minutes. 26 minutes, sorry. As for addressing the first part about the whole action brawls and that sort of thing, I mean, yeah, it kind of had its, I guess, semi gore fest, but not really. Like, the zombies would just bite people and then swarm them and, I don't know, just lay on top of them. That sort of deal wasn't anything really, really bad. Like, only one dude in the entire film got jacked up, and it's this one bad dude that, well, just tries to screw over the main crew and everything. And he ends up getting mauled by a tiger, and that's probably like the most, how would you call it? Goriest part, because, you see the injuries that he sustains from this fight, that where he ends up dying. But I don't know. I just, it's really kind of pathetic watching the zombie flick, and for today's standards and quality, that the zombies, when they bite into people, all they do is they leave the bite mark, and they don't go any further than that. That's it. And I don't know if it's because they were trying to do something with the plot with, oh, all the regular zombies, yeah, they're all dried out, but supposedly if you add a little water to them, they come back to life. Woo! And there's a bunch of smart zombies, and there's a king zombie that turns regular people into smart zombies when he bites them. Christ on a bike. I don't think they just did it very, very well. Like I said, characters couldn't care less, wanted them dead. The action was questionable. For whatever reason, when the zombies blew up, I don't know if it's because because they were smarter zombies or what, but when they blew up, their head kind of like blew up blue. God, for whatever reason, I couldn't stop thinking that they were robots. not zombies because it just looks so metallic, like and everything. Like Common Era Iron Fortress, still. God, why am I thinking about this right now? Well, I guess it fits into the zombie category. It's an anime, 12 episodes, one movie. That's actually pretty good. Um, Zombie flick. I'd consider it a zombie series. The whole premise is that humanity's been decimated by these things called cavernaries, which are like zombies with a strong iron cage where you can't pierce the heart. But this one dude ends up finding a way to pierce the heart with a pressure gun. Gets bitten, turns into a half zombie, half human. So he becomes stronger, but he also needs human blood in order to survive. It's pretty good. This one I won't spoil for you because it's a very good series and I'd highly recommend it. You can invest a good amount of time into it and not be bored. Like, for there, it kind of mixes with the whole industrial era vibe that the Cabaneri, which are like these, industrial zombies type of deal, it fits in with the whole aesthetic. But here, when you look at Army of the Dead with the zombies blowing up with blue heads, nowhere does it feel or, sit with the aesthetic. And honestly, the film takes place in Las Vegas, but I think they screw it very, very hard. When you have such a playground to work with, you should use every little bit of it. It's the whole phrase with if you have a gun on the wall, you better use it. And in this film, they just don't use it. They leave that gun hanging. It's Las Vegas, and the only time they really use it is at the very beginning. The opening cutscene is the best part of the film. Like when the opening credits are rolling, they kind of have like montage and scenes and everything of these big old hordes and everything, and the people, the military fighting back or normal people fighting to get out. This whole thing, and they even have a more compelling story. Like this one woman saves a little girl, gets bit, and the little girl doesn't want to leave her because she sees her as her new mom and ends up getting crushed by a crate, which is supposed to like be a big old wall around the city. But like, Christ, I could not for the life of me believe that they wasted Las Vegas. The potential they had. The only reason I think they might have, had it was an excuse to use, I don't know, probably any casino for like the main final battle where everyone's trying to run through fighting zombies, shooting them, and run to the elevator and get to the roof, get to the chopper, get out, and everyone smiles. But everyone does not have. It doesn't have a very good and happy ending. But I'm not complaining about whether or not it had a happy ending. It's like I said, I couldn't care less for any of the characters. But it's just a waste of using Las Vegas. Like the way The Hangover does it with the whole Caesar's Palace, it's boys trying to have, a final night of fun before the guy gets married. And it plays into the whole, get married in Las Vegas bit. And that uses Las Vegas a lot better. Even though, okay, look, it just uses Las Vegas a lot better. It's a bit unfortunate because I do really, really enjoy zombie flicks, but nothing about Army of the Dead did it for me. Like, at the beginning, for whatever reason, really irks me. The whole premise of the beginning is that, Christ, sorry, I'm just trying to remember. The whole premise of the beginning is that there are these people that are military people that are, like, carrying some package, and then some dude getting a blowjob ends up, crashing into it, and the package escapes. Ah, God, please no. Yes, this dude gets a blowjob, crashes into the military convoy. Convoy lets this zombie out that, for whatever reason, highly trained soldiers can't land a single headshot. I know it's a zombie flick, and I shouldn't really be asking for realism or anything, and it probably would have ended the film there. But I think you have to have a better reason than that for everything to go to. Pardon my French. Shit. There's better ways they could have done it. I believe. What those solutions are, I don't know. I haven't thought about it enough. I just saw the movie like an hour ago, but I don't know. Just nothing about it sat right with me. I'm not trying to blast Dave Batista because I think I don't know. I don't know. I just something about the fighting wasn't exactly stellar either. For whatever reason, that main zombie was like ungodly strong. Like he flicked people away like they were nothing. Not like Superman flicking away or Omni Man, since Invincible's become the series Invincible has become popular recently. But like Omni Man like swatting away somebody, and they go fly and turn into paste on the wall. Not that, but still enough that physically strong people could you know get swatted away like a child. And all of a sudden, Dave Batista's character ends up getting in, and all of a sudden, the zombies matched, or at least more evenly matched than before. I don't know, just something doesn't sit right. It's like conveniently the plot armor turns on. Plot armor is something that I don't necessarily agree with or sits right with me. It's very, it's a very easy, convenient, you know, uh, plot tool for people to use whenever they have a character in trouble, and it's a free helpline and everything, and it's just unfortunate that they ended up having to use it in this flick. Like, there's just too many things about this movie that I found wrong with it. And well, I could definitely go into probably a little bit more detail as if I well I think if I think about it. But yeah, just none of it was good. They had these rules that this one lady was trying to establish, like, we're on their turf. We uh we have to respect their rules. And then all of a sudden those rules get thrown out the window when her herself decides to be a total dip and let this one dude take the head of the super strong zombie's wife. And somehow they're able to create like a zombie baby with zombie sex, I guess. But the whole thing is that zombies are dead, and how is dead sperm and dead egg supposed to make life? Christ on the bike. Well, that's enough bitching about that. So instead of continuing to talk about Army of the Dead and continue rambling on, let me recommend some other zombie movies, which I could probably talk about a lot more extensively. Starting with probably the most obvious and widespread now known, um, Train to Busan. Let me look at the year. 2016. Train to Busan was a pretty good movie. It's the whole, like I said, the whole video is a spoiler. So if there are any zombie movies that you're thinking about watching, jump out right now because I might cover it. Yeah, Train to Busan is a very good flick. Well, no doubt. Jesus Christ, could I say anything more childish? Well, either way, the whole thing is that it's this father. He's divorced from or separated something from his wife. He's taking his daughter to go to her for her birthday, and he's more concentrated about work and everything. That whole shindig, and he ends up buying her too, or another Wii while she already has a Wii. Or was it a Wii U? Something, some Nintendo product. And, instead of letting her ride the train alone, he goes with her. And, yeah, zombie virus outbreak hits and everything. And, of course, these people get infected person gets on the train, affects multiple cars. And the whole thing is trying to, find a station where people are holding out and everything. I think it does it rather well. There's a good cast. Every single character I actually cared about, and when they died, I started, feeling sad. Not like Army of the Dead, where I felt nothing when anyone died. Nothing. I couldn't care more or less. They were just props, flesh bags, bags of flesh to throw at the zombies. But this one I did actually care about. These were characters that I grew to get attached to love. Like, there's this one dude. He's big. He's strong. The actor's name is. Sorry if I butcher this. Madong Ma Madong Seok. Sorry if I butchered your name. Or I'm pretty sure that's your real. Yeah, Madong Seok. He's a big dude. Like, he's physically built. He's gonna be in the Eternals movie, so yeah, you'll see him in that. So, well, either way, he's this dude that's married. He has a pregnant wife, and he's trying to protect him and his unborn baby. And you get attached to him as he becomes more friendly with the main character, the father I mentioned at the beginning, and eventually ends up getting bit and holding a door so everyone else, the other main characters, can go run away. And the whole I'm always a sucker for the whole self-sacrifice martyr bit. Well, unwilling or the I wouldn't say unwilling martyr, but not one going out of their way to get glorified or anything for it, but the selfless martyr, that type of deal. And that's kind of what he ends up playing at the end of his time in the film. The selfless martyr that wants to protect the wife he cares about, and I guess his new friends as well. Yeah. And there's another couple in the film. I think it's baseball or something. Baseball player and his uh, this one girl that really likes him, and he likes her, but he's a bit aloof. Yeah, aloof. And you want to see them end up together, making it out at the end. Sorry, phrasing, I know. And it ends up kind of tragic with that selfish man I mentioned earlier, using the girl as a zombie shield. And the dude, the baseball player, ends up crying and gets turned and bit by the girl when she turns. And I could go into more depth, but either way, I think you get the general idea. Each character is given their own little story that you actually genuinely care for. You grow to come and love. The action is more grounded in reality. I love, yeah, it's grounded. Yeah, it's more grounded in reality. Like, these dudes aren't like, popping heads and everything with like a single punch or something. Like there's some macho man, like a gang of macho man Randy Savages or anything. These are just like regular dudes who, the main character is a accountant or stockbroker or something like that. Yeah, this kid who plays baseball, and well, the guy I mentioned before, Ma Dong Seok, that dude's just big. So he does big guy stuff, and the other two do stuff that's expected and more. You could tie to that physique, to that lifestyle, to that character. Oh Christ, don't fight. I know I keep using that phrase. I'm sorry, uh, but yeah, I think it just stands out a lot more. The special effects and makeup department is definitely there. Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead zombies, I guess, was fine. I don't know. There's never really like a way to do outstanding zombie work, I guess. Like on the zombie themselves, but rather when they're eating or mauling people, whether it's like gushes of blood and that whole shindig, I think is really what kind of draws the eye for zombie flicks. And Army of the Dead does not do that, but I think uh, Train to Busan does it good enough, does it well enough that it captures you. Well, let's move on to another zombie because I don't want to give the limelight to to just one movie, even though I like it a lot. So moving on to our next zombie flick that I would recommend over Arm of the Dead. uh, Classic. It's kind of what revived, I think, the zombie. The zombie. What would you call it? Theme? The zombie. And this is the part where I say the word that I'm thinking of. The zombie genre. There we go. The zombie genre. I know the person that made it didn't want it to be seen as a zombie thing, but honestly, come on, dude. You gotta let your hair down. You make these rage-induced, infected, and you have them going around munching people, and so you better expect it to be called a zombie flick. 28 Days Later is British, yeah, British. Of course, it's British. They speak with the accent and all. Yeah, it's a British movie about where PETA at the beginning of the movie ends up breaking into a lab and setting free chimpanzees because PETA likes protecting animals, and this one scientist says, "Dude, don't open that. Don't. It's infected with a highly contagious rage virus." And then PETA was like, "Nah, it'll be fine." I know I'm not the critical drinker, but I love that line so much. Nah, it'll be fine. Ah, that dude's hilarious. But yeah, 28 days later, PETA opens the cage. The female gets bit, and well, she bites everyone else. And of course, 28 days later, after this one dude in the hospital in a coma wakes up, finds everything's gone to shit. It's a lot. I think it does a little bit more with the human aspect than I'd say. Well, definitely than Army of the Dead. But it's kind of. I think it does more than Train to Busan because. Uh, Wait, no, I don't know. It's kind of a hard choice. For 28 Days Later, it really culminates at the very end of the film when there's this group of. Well, either way, the main character are. We'll just call him the patient because he was in a hospital. Well, either way, I know he has a different name, but whatever. The patient ends up finding two other survivors. The dude dies. The girl lives, and they go running together and everything, or surviving. Then he meets a cab driver's daughter. Cab driver dies or gets infected. Is mercied. Uh, they run with the daughter. Get captured by soldiers that turn out to be rape. I can't say that word on YouTube. That's right. They like to forcibly take advantage of women for purposes of repopulation, apparently. Uh, I think that whole bit, you have to watch it for yourself. It does it way better than I can ever try to explain. It does it a lot better. Uh, I think the whole virus itself is a lot more dangerous than everything because the cab driver ends up getting infected because some blood falls in his eye, and it's kind of like a oh shit moment where you realize that this virus is not only deadly with the whole infecting everything bit, but it's just generally a more dangerous thing. One little wrong move, drink a glass of water with a virus in it. That's it. Game over. All it takes is that one little drop, and that's it. It really like brings up the stakes of trying not to get infected. So avoiding the infected is really emphasized as being your only option. And at the end of the film, the guy ends up coming back, saving the two girls, and running away while they get mauled by a zombie they had locked up. While bad people get mauled by a zombie they locked up. And then they end up waiting out the zombies for 28 days until they all starve and die. And I'm not sure, but it's been a while since I've seen the movie, so I'm sorry if I don't talk about this one as long as I have Train to Busan, which I've seen more recently. I'm sorry, but I think it's still a noteworthy film to watch. I never saw its sequel 28 weeks later, but I heard it was good too. So I think eventually I'll have to check it out, definitely. As someone that does enjoy the zombie genre quite a bit. But yeah, it's a very apparently it also got a comic series, but I never read the comic because I'm a filthy weeb. I don't read comics. I read manga, dude, and I watch anime. I'm sorry, but yeah, it's British film. Very good. The next movie I would like to recommend is Night of the Creeps. Now, Night of the Creeps can be supposedly it's categorized as zombie. It's also a bit of a alien invasion. It's one of those films that didn't do like 100% well at the box office, but screw the box office. Those dudes are nerds anyway. But it did end up acquiring a cult following. Sorry. I don't even remember how I saw the movie. I don't know if it's because a friend had brought it and we saw it together, or I saw it through some weird, you know, obscure website where they had it for some reason, or if I saw it because someone uploaded it to YouTube in like for like a single day, and of course it got taken down next. Hey, that used to happen on YouTube a lot more. Like, there's this other movie called Brain Damage about a little monster alien thing that eats people's brains, and in return, if you're his host, I guess would be the right word, his owner, quote unquote, he'd give you like a shot of an addictive, euphoric drug that he produced. It's weird, but I saw it on YouTube. I also saw Basket Case on YouTube, but of course those are taken down, and because people own the rights to those movies and they want to get as much moolah as they can out of it. Which I respect the hustle. I respect the hustle, but I just it's kind of it's kind of like an end of the era type of deal. But either way, however, I saw Night of the Creeps. It's a good movie, even if it might not be categorized strictly as a zombie flick. The premise in this one is this one dude, or a meteor comes, crashes the Earth, releases slugs. Guy gets infected by the slugs, and I think it's a time jump. And then this one dude is trying to ask out this one girl, but his but this one girl ends up having a boyfriend and everything, and a bunch of other stuff happens in between. I know I said I'm spoiling it, but I also don't want to go too much into it in case you do end up watching the films, and I want to leave something to be desired to watch for yourselves. So you actually do go watch these. Sorry, instead of letting some college kid tell you how it is over the internet. But either way, this thing I think is also another pretty good zombie movie. I enjoy it for, I would say, I'm not sure how would I describe it. It's I don't know. It's just a entertaining movie. The whole thing of I'm trying to think of how to describe its qualities that make it better than the Army of the Dead, which I completely just shit on. I think what it does well, Night of the Creeps, is being able to emphasize the numbers of the zombies, because I think towards the end of the film there ends up being more, and they end up finding a horde and burning down a fraternity house. I think it is, or sorority, something like that, with all the zombies in it. And I don't know, it's just kind of fun. It's a fun movie to watch. It's something where you can, you don't have to think about it. Yes, I know. It's a good thing. Don't trust me. Uh, Movies are fun to watch, even if sometimes you don't think. You just watch the movie and you enjoy it. Night of the Creeps is one of those movies. It's a zombie movie. It's all the right qualities, action, uh, well, action, uh, horror elements, a little bit of romance. And it's just a fun movie to watch with your brain turned off. You go into pilot mode and you can enjoy, and you just enjoy. It's a fun movie. Like I said, you're not going to find anything thought provoking in this one, but regardless, I think it's still a good movie just for doing justice to the zombie genre. And there's like two endings to the film. There's three endings to I think three. I think it's four endings to 28 Days Later, by the way. But there's two endings for to Night of the Creeps. Apparently, the theatrical version, which I never saw, because well, I wasn't alive at the time it came out in theaters. So yeah, I didn't see that version. The theatrical version was because these slugs come from outer space on a meteorite, right? Well, either way, the theatrical ending has a dog walk up to the main girl, and it opens its mouth, and a slug pops out and goes for her, and the screen cuts to black. I've seen it now, obviously. That's why I can even talk about it. But you know, shoot. And the alternate ending is the one that one I first saw and was used to, and the one that the director intended for it to be. So at the end of the film, uh, this one charred zombie ends up walking out of the house. It falls on the ground dead. Its head splits open. Three slugs go out of its head into a nearby graveyard. Obviously looking for new hosts, which is they have plenty of in the graveyard corpses. And then that's when you have a big old reveal. The aliens that accidentally sent them here. Well, it wasn't intentional at all. It was like, you know, losing your keys or wallet or something. Well, they come back and to, I guess, get them or something like that. At least I think that's what the director said. It was supposed to be implied what was going to happen. I think so. But like I said, I think yeah, that's the ending I grew up with, and I think it's more fun than just a girl getting, you know, ah, as the slug shoots out of her. I don't know why. It's just a little bit more appealing. Maybe it's because it's more to it rather than just that sudden type of deal, but it's more like the looming type of deal. And like what? I was a little kid, man. I probably when I saw that, I probably was like, "Cool, aliens, dude." Minus the dude, because I didn't add that into my speech until like later. But yeah, Night of the Creeps is a movie that I would recommend. It has a cult following now, and maybe you should become one of us, one of us, one of us. The next one we're doing is definitely, I think, labeled as the goriest zombie movie, or at least that's major parts of. Yeah, here we go. Pulling it up on Wikipedia. Box office bomb, but has since received a cult following and is now considered one of the goriest films of all time. And for good reason. Brain Dead is a movie where this one dude, it's also called Dead Alive. It's a New Zealand film uh, made by Peter Jackson. I'm sure if you're unsure of who that is, he did shoot. Uh, he did the Lord of the Rings movies, King Kong with Jack Black. well, The Hobbit. Like, what was it, yesterday or something that I talked about? Yeah, don't worry about it. Brain Dead. Let's get back on track. Brain Dead is a movie about this one guy who ends up falling in love with this. He's like, I guess, kind of a noble or something, rich, because I think this takes place over in Spain, Europe, somewhere over there. Well, this one dude ends up falling. He has a strong. What would you call it? Uh, a strict mother. There we go. Well, I guess I should probably start at the beginning. So either way, these dudes back, like these dudes explorers find a rat monkey hybrid, and well, the monkey bites a dude, and before they find out what happens, they kill the guy out of fear, and they take it to a zoo, right? And then it picks up with this one kid, man, strict mom, falls. He's supposed to be like a noble type, falls in love with like your average bookkeeper. I think it's a bookkeeper, some sort of shop girl. Uh, his mother stalks him and the girl to a what do you call it? To a zoo. Goddamn, I'm stupid. Follows him to the zoo and the mom ends up getting infected by the rat monkey that is at the zoo, and yeah, it's this dude trying to keep all these zombies, his zombie mom, under wraps by keeping her sedated in his basement and everything, and then there's a lot of in between, but like I said, I'll leave that up to you. There ends up being a zombie sex scene. So if you're into necrophilia for whatever reason, which I'm not into, then you probably like, I don't know, jacket or something to it. But hey, I'm not telling you to do it. Don't become a necrophiliast. Don't get into it, dude. Just stick to normal life people, adults, normal life adults. There we go. Adult humans. There we go. Just in case I have to specify. Adult humans, normal, alive, adult humans. Okay. Okay. All right. alive adult humans. There we go. Oh man. Hey, you have to be careful with what you say. People could take anything out of context. So I gotta watch this landmine riddled field of vocabulary and phrasing. Oh, sorry. It's 12:14 Pacific Standard Time, so forgive me if I'm a little drowsy. Yes, I know I played until like 12:55 yesterday, but hey, I ain't got no one to give me energy to keep me awake. No action, no adrenaline, just me talking about zombie flicks. Yeah, a bit unfortunate. Yeah, well, no one else that I know other than my father, my old man, watches as many movies as I do. Yeah, yeah, or at least obscure stuff. I asked one of my friends, like, dude, what kind of movies do you watch? Because he had never seen Starship Troopers. My boy Jay, I think it was. He's like, yeah, I only watch like the really mainstream stuff. I'm like, damn, you're missing out. And he's like, oh, yeah, because he like ended up liking Starship Troopers. But either way, back on topic. Brain Dead. Don't remember how I saw it. Could be many different ways, but I can't remember. But either way, Brain Dead, like I said, the zombie sex scene, and at the end, the dude's uncle ends up bringing over a bunch of friends for a party because he wants to claim the not throne but inheritance because he found out about the people in the basement thinking that they were corpses and not zombies. Well, zombie is a corpse, but you know what I mean. You know that they were dead, and that the dude was a into necrophilia for whatever reason, and the zombies wake up, break down, infect everyone, and the dude ends up the main character I think ends up leaving for a bit. His love interest comes back because they break up because the dude doesn't want to involve her in his whole mess of a zombie storm and everything. In order to protect her, she goes to try to conciliate. The zombie stuff happens, and the dude comes back with this lawnmower. It's a great and awesome scene. I wonder if they even have it on YouTube. Would they? Let's see. Brain Dead. What do I call it? Oh God, why am I forgetting? God, why am I being such an airhead right now? I'm sorry, dudes. I'm sorry. Lawnmower. There. Wait, no. Yeah, lawn mower. Yeah, lawnmower scene. Oh God damn. I understand that this something not appropriate for people, but yeah, it's really epic. This dude walks in as his girl's about to get munched on. Walks in with the. Let me describe what's happening. He walks in, starts the lawnmower, and he just, you know, he holds the blade up. It's one of the smaller ones that you can lift up. He walks towards the zombies, and vroom goes all the fists. Vroom goes all the body parts and everything. Vroom. There's just, parts just flying out, getting grinded up and everything, as blood sprays everywhere on him in the lawnmower and everything. And he eventually cuts them all down to size. He mows them. Okay, never mind. They're still walking. It's been a while since I've seen this movie. You have to forgive me. How long is this thing? 3 minutes and 28 seconds. Holy Jiva. Well, that's 3 minutes and 28 seconds that, I can talk about something else, and you guys can go watch that scene for yourself. It's even if you don't end up watching the full movie, I recommend watching that part at least. Yeah, just look up Brain Dead, or wait, no, Brain Dead lawnmower scene. It's great. It's really gory, and yeah, Brain Dead is another movie much like well, I would say like the bulk of zombie flicks in general, and like something like a Night of the Creeps. It's a movie that you kind of just enjoy. You don't think about it too much. You sit back, have some Coke with you, or Shasta Cola, because that's what I drink, dude. Look, there's a 99-cent store near me, and I drink Shasta because they have it there. Yeah, Shasta Cola, some Act 2 buttery popcorn, and enjoy the movie. I hope you don't get squeamish. So if you do, then maybe you should not be eating and drinking the stuff I'm recommending. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, Brain Dead, great film. Turn your brain off. Enjoy the ride. They find love at the end if you're curious. The lovers have a happy ending. Now, the other movie I wanted to talk about is I could do something else like, Zombieland or something. But let's talk about something a little bit, I think, more under the radar. Well, it's been a couple of years. I don't think the movie's gotten as much attention as I think it should have. Land of the Dead, 2005. Directed by your boy George A. Romero, also known as John A. Romero. Like I said, 2005. The whole thing it's in the whole Romero universe. Zombies have already basically won the war. Humanity's constricted to a few big cities, I guess, where we only follow one big city. This one group of dudes end up messing with the zombies and killing them, while this one big mechanic dude, watches out of, I guess, sorrow as his kind are being killed. and he ends up rallying a bunch, all the other zombies to go and attack these dudes. Yeah, it's kind of it's fun. It's a fun watch. The movie is, how do you describe it? It's another one of those fun to watch type of things, but I think it also does get into a little bit more gritty. It's a lot more gritty and not like necessarily. What zombie movie do you watch that isn't gritty? But it's definitely a more gritty type of deal. Like I said, humans have already lost the war. Really, they scavenge and they just live in big old cities with the rich people, like living like life like nothing's ever happened. While you see everywhere else essentially becoming slums, and having to do the whole Mad Max type of deal. That whole thing. It's I think it's one of his better films. I mean, of course, his films as he gets older, I think just because more readily available technology, he ended up doing a lot better with this film. It has the guy that does Sid the Sloth in it from Ice Age. I don't know why I can't remember his name. I'm sorry. And right now, I can't be bothered to look for his name. I'm sorry, out of respect. But it's like I said, it's another movie where you just turn your brain off and you just glide along. I don't think the movie got as much attention as a lot of the other, as a lot of his other works. Like, of course, his big one being Night of the Living Dead. What the hell is giving this movie a bad review? Paste Magazine. Land of the Dead pushes George Romero's zombie satire as far as it could show. That sounds like a. That sounds like a insult. Whatever. I enjoyed the film. Goddamn. It doesn't matter what critics say. Considering what happened with Days Gone, as I enjoyed the movie. But yes, Land of the Dead, I think, is an enjoyable film. Like I said, it really gets into the whole humanity lost vibe with the movie. That's its whole aesthetic. And it does that aesthetic well. It really makes you feel like they transform everything into like the whole wasteland bit. And I think it even works with, I think, if I remember correctly, the majority of the movie takes place at night. So it really does just kind of make it feel hopeless. Like humanity's out of the game, zombies are the new big boy and everything. I enjoyed the movie. It's a shame that other people didn't, but it's a lot. It does a lot of what other movies do, and George A. Romero. I think, like I said, I think it's one of his better ones, just because of being able to have access to more better technology or special effects or however you would want to call it. I think it does it well, but that's not to knock his other works earlier, like what is it, Day of the Dead? Day of the Dead. Yep, Day of the Dead, 1985, with the introduction of a smart zombie that ends up killing his captors, I guess, or one single captor that was generally a douche. So it was kind of fun to see, the bad guy die. This one I really got a bone to pick with because somebody made a reboot in, let's see, 2018, Day of the Dead Bloodlines, where they try to do the same thing with, a zombie, you know, developing intelligence, which is what the original Day of the Dead did. But the original Day of the Dead was more of a slow burn movie, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, even for a zombie flick. You knew that zombies were always there and they were always constantly a threat. But I think the major, pull of the film was getting to see this one smart zombie where this scientist introduces it to classical music and, teaches him, different stuff, how to be human again, bits and pieces. And, the commander of the base of the institute, whatever base soldier, he's a soldier, uh, is more, thinks that it's just parroting, that it's only mimicking in order to get whatever, in order to please the doctor or whatever. Just because it's a zombie, he doesn't expect much. But you end up finding out that at the end he ends up remembering and, has his own type of deal. Because he shoots the guy and then salutes him as the guy's being pulled, pulled apart by a bunch of zombies. Uh, it doesn't do the human element very well. Uh, Definitely not like some of the other films I mentioned at the beginning that were more oriented towards that. But I think as a zombie flick itself, being able to see, I know zombies aren't real, but I guess just being able to see, something else and rather than the regular old shambling about type of deal is just, I guess, refreshing. And Day of the Dead Bloodline, the reboot I talked about, decidedly shit all over it. I wanted to not watch it anymore. Yeah, I didn't even finish the film, and I just looked at the synopsis because I was so sick and tired of the film. It was complete injustice to the film, and I mean disrespect to the director, and nothing could save it. Nothing at all. It did some weird thing with the zombie being obsessed, or before they turn into a zombie, this one dude's obsessed with the girl towards like the bad touch type of obsessed. And once he becomes a zombie, he remembers that and ends up bad touching her. And it just doesn't sit right with me at all. I guess it was trying to have a message or something. It's made by some Spanish prick, I think. I don't mean that to insult the Spaniards. I'm just saying that he's a prick in general, but he just happens to come from Spain. Hector Hernandez Vicens? Oh, to you, Hector Hernandez Vicens. Fuck yourself. I hope you step on a Lego brick and end up tripping and falling onto a bad dragon dildo with no lube whatsoever. That's the worst I can hope for. But yes, Day of the Dead Bloodline. It's just, it's a very, oh god. A zombie. I want to kind of try to rush through this one because I don't want to talk about it for long. A politically charged zombie movie. I, I, I didn't even bother finishing the film. I just looked at the synopsis and that was it. I did not enjoy it at all. And instead, what you should be watching, moving on, we're almost out of time, sorry. I just kind of want to go to bed. Something else that I would recommend is definitely not Resident Evil because holy hell, did they butcher that series? But, no, what's it called? Cooties. There we go. Cooties. Not to be confused with that other abomination known as Cuties. Cooties is a film about a little girl eating a bad chicken nugget and turning to a. No, I'm sorry. It's a funny premise. Yeah, a little girl eating a bad chicken nugget and turning into a zombie. And, well, apparently the virus only affects kids, and all the kids become flesh eaters. And there's something, like, really goofy about it. And I think, like, towards the end of the film, it gets more serious because it's like all these teachers, adults trying to protect this one normal kid while they're being surrounded. But for the majority of the film, it takes what the film presents and it just rolls with it. It plays into the goofiness. It knows that, you're not really supposed to take the film that serious. Like I said, they only have one, like, kind of serious, semi-serious, emotional thing at the end, and I guess it's kind of like a weird, nice break in the whole hilarity, where even though it's a bunch of kids turned into zombies, they were still monsters and they still destroyed everything. The amount of people they killed and everything. But it's a film that doesn't take itself too serious. It has its tense moments, yes, so you can't knock him down for that. It has Elijah Woods for some reason. I don't know how they got him. I guess after Lord of the Rings, he really wasn't doing much. But yeah, it's a fun film. Never takes itself. It doesn't take itself seriously, and as you should, or as it should, it really is not something that should be taken seriously. Okay, what are we? Oh, we're at like an hour, so we're kind of at the tail end. Well, there are some other zombie flicks that I would like to recommend. We just pulled the list, and I'll tell you I'll tell you what's I would recommend. Oh, Hashtag Alive is a good movie. Uh, I Am Legend. I think that's more of a zombie flick, so I'll leave that there. Um, do not watch Battle of the Damned. I recommend. Oh, Return of the Living Dead. The Girl with All the Gifts. Warm Bodies. Shaun of the Dead. Little Monsters. Not to be confused with the '80s version. You know, you know that one. Yeah. Fido is funny. Uh, Dawn of the Dead is good. Both versions. Uh, God, There's so many bad just bad zombie movies that it's hard to pick them out. Sorry. Oh, Dead Snow was a good one. Nazi zombies. Who doesn't like killing Nazis anyway? Every good person should. Uh, uh, I'm sure there's others that I just can't think of right now, but yeah, I'll try to get back to you on that maybe. uh, oh yeah, Zombieland, of course. Yeah, there's a lot of other stuff that I have to think about, but I'm sure I could probably make you guys a list if I think about it a little bit more. But either way, I apologize, but that's all the time we got for today. I want to go to bed. I know. Me needing sleep. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Hope you guys have a great and wonderful day. Don't have any nightmares about zombies because I'm probably going to have some now. Because whenever I think about things recently, I end up having a dream about it. Whether it turns into a nightmare or a regular ass dream is kind of 50-50 because I have no control of what happens. I don't know how the whole lucid dreaming bit works, but I definitely can't do it. So I hope you guys. I'm sorry. I know. I hope you guys have a great. God, you guys probably aren't awake even. Probably really. So hope you guys have an awesome rest of your day. If your day is just starting. If you're going to bed like me, then I hope you have a good night's sleep. Stay frosty, and I'll see you on the other side of the day. Adios. Oh yeah, and don't watch The Walking Dead. Find something else, dude. Adios.